Hello everyone, I'm Anthony José on behalf of LFC Transfer Room, and today we're going to be going through our combined 11s with our next opponents, Chelsea. Now we actually have a special guest today on the channel who's a Chelsea fan, so welcome to the channel, Bartosz. How's lockdown treating you, mate?
Well, as you can tell by the haircut, it's been a rough couple months, but it's almost finished now, and yeah, thanks for having me on the channel.
I think him being on the channel makes it a little bit more interesting, as we'll be able to see two perspectives on the combined team selections from both different fan bases. We can only choose players that are fit, so there'll be no Van Dijk or Joe Gomez and so on. And secondly, it's only based on this season and recent form, so there'll be no bringing up stats from previous seasons. First off, in the goalkeeper position, I've got Alisson Becker. I don't think it's exactly fair to keep on bringing up the number of goals he's conceded, because you're naturally going to concede a lot more with a weaker defence in front of you, and one that keeps him rotating week in, week out. Comparing him to Mendy, he's made more saves than him, and he's a better sweeper keeper, so he's made more interceptions and clearances. And one final thing about him is that nearly a third of the goals he's conceded this season have been from the penalty spot. And as we all know, a lot of them were, bogus decisions. So Bartosz, who have you selected as your goalkeeper?
I've actually gone with Mendy. He's got 11 clean sheets in the first 21 games that he's played for the club, which is really good. A very high save percentage in the Champions League, I think that's the highest, and the Premier League. Looking at the stats, Alisson has actually made 3 mistakes that have led to goals, comparing to Mendy's only 1. And I feel like Alisson just hasn't had the same kind of influence and presence that he had for the last 2 years. So I feel like Mendy takes it for me this time.
Next we have the left back position, and I've got Andy Robertson. For me, he's still the best left back in the world, and he's proven it once again this season. He's got the 3rd most assists in the league this season for a left back. He's far better defensively than Chilwell and Marcos Alonso, and he contributes more to the team. He's created more chances than Chilwell and has put double the amount of crosses than him this season. So who have you got in left back? Bartek.
I've also gone with Robertson. I feel like he's still one of the best left backs in the world. I wouldn't say the best, I feel like that's Davies. Ever since Tuchel has come in, Chilwell's been kind of given the second role at left back at Chelsea. Although I'm not a big fan of Marcus Alonso at all, but if maybe Chilwell had kept his form up from the start of the season, maybe we'd be talking about a different scenario. However, yeah, Robertson takes it for me as well.
So the first centre-back spot, I've got Zuma. He's got the most goals in the league for a defender this season, and considering Liverpool's injury crisis at centre-back, I don't really think there's anyone you can compare him to.
I do agree with the point that Zuma is one of the best goal-scoring defenders in the league. However, I've actually put down Rudiger. I feel like ever since Tuchel has taken over, he's been a different player at left centre-back. And yeah, Zuma is good, but I feel like on the ball he might lack some qualities that Rudiger might have. That's why I've chosen Rudiger, just for the possession in football. And for the other centre-back spot in my team, I've got Tiago Silva. For me, probably the best transfer in the summer, purely because it was free. He's come into the team, settled down really quickly, become the vice-captain from day one, and he's just had a massive influence on the whole team, so yeah, he has to be in the team for me. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, I agree with you. I've got him as my second centre-back as well. I feel like you've already covered most of the main points about Tiago Silva, so we're just going to move on to the next position. So it's a tough decision at right back between Trent and Reece James, obviously, but I've gone with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm backing this Scouse lad. Once again, he's got more assists than Reece James, and he's actually improved on his defensive work. He's got more interceptions and a higher tackle success rate.
Yeah, it is a really tough decision. I feel like these are the 2 best right backs in the Premier League right now and for the next 5-10 years. However, I feel like Reece James can just bring in more solidity for the back 4, so I'm just going to go with him at right back.
So for the first midfield slot, I've got a defensive midfielder and I've chosen Fabinho. Unfortunately, he's had to play as a makeshift centre-back this season because of our injury crisis, but even so, he's been defensively solid for us. I think we've seen over the past 2 seasons how good Fabinho's been in defensive midfield, and for me, he is the 2nd best defensive midfielder in the world, behind Kimmich. And I don't really think there's anyone at Chelsea that really can take his spot.
Okay, so I've also got Fabinho in mind. I'm playing a 4-3-3 with 2 holding players. First one is Fabinho, and I feel like I wouldn't agree with the fact that he's the 2nd best defensive midfielder in the world, but I do feel like he's the best midfielder at Liverpool. He's also very flexible, can play centre-back, right-back, centre-mid, everywhere, so I feel like he deserves his place in the team. Partnering Fabinho, I've got Kante. Now, he has been probably our best player the last couple of years. He might have dropped a little bit, but I feel like he's still, if not the best player at Chelsea, and one of the best CDMs in world football. So I feel like he also deserves the place in the team.
I actually disagree. I've got Tiago taking the next midfield spot next to Fabinho. You know, everyone calls him a sideways pass merchant, but the reality is everyone needs a midfielder in their team who can distribute a ball out as fast as him. He has the ability to pick out passes that nobody else sees on the pitch. For example, the one against Everton, where we wrongfully got a goal robbed off us in the 90th minute. And even against Sheffield, where he created Firmino's one-on-one chance, which he ended up butchering. Taking the final midfield spot, I've got Mason Mount. For me, I think Mount's been Chelsea's player of the season so far. Yeah. And out of Liverpool and Chelsea's midfield, he has the most goal contributions. And Bartosz, I'm guessing you've got the same option in midfield?
Of course I have. Mason Mount has been our player of the season so far. He's a completely different player from what we saw 12 months ago. He has grown into the role massively. He's going to be the future captain of Chelsea, I'm certain of it. So yeah, I've also gone with Mount.
In the left wing position, I've got Sadio Mane. Now, although the stats can't really back him up this season, I think he's unfairly been criticised by a lot of our fan base just because he hasn't scored as many goals as Salah. I think defensively, he's far better than any Chelsea wingers or Mohamed Salah at the moment. And I do believe he's one of the most important players in our team. And when we miss him, it's a massive loss. For example, the match against Aston Villa, where we got absolutely slaughtered 7-2.
Yeah, I've got Matty as well. I feel like on his day, he could be one of the best left wingers in world football. Stats wise, he hasn't had the best season for him so far. However, I feel like he can't really compare to Werner at the moment, with him missing so many chances. Pulisic, yeah, we have seen a glimpse of what he can do towards the end of last season, but he hasn't shown it this season. So I feel like there's not really any competition for Mane at the moment. So I feel like, yeah, he has to slot in at left wing.
Probably our player of the season. Obviously, Mohamed Salah takes the right wing spot. I'm not really going to dive into comparisons as much because nobody can really compare to the top goal scorer in the Premier League. Now, I hope for your sake, Bartosz, you've chosen Mohamed Salah as well.
Yeah, of course I did. There's not really anyone that compares to Mo Salah, not just at Chelsea, but in the whole Premier League. And yeah, I'm just really sad that we actually let him go. And at striker, I've got Olivier Giroud. Now, this might be a bit controversial with the Liverpool fan base. However, I feel like Giroud is the man for the big occasion. You know, scoring 4 goals against Sevilla, scoring the bicycle kick against Atletico Madrid. I just feel like he's the better finisher out of the 2 strikers. Yeah, that's my team.
Now, it's funny you actually bring up Firmino because I don't actually have him in my team, and neither Giroud. I've got Diogo Jota. Now, although Jota's only played half of the season, he's still only 1 goal behind Firmino, who's got the most amount of goals between them. Giroud's more of a target man, so I feel Jota's got that all-round better ability than him, and he's averaged a goal every 100 minutes in the Premier League this season. Right, so that's our team all wrapped up. So we're going to wrap things up there. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave your opinion in the comment section down below on whose team was better and what your combined 11 would look like. Actually, just before we head off, what's your score predictions for Thursday's match at Bartosz?
2-1 goals from Werner and Mount, and Salah getting the 1 for Liverpool.
I respectfully disagree with you. I'm going for a 3-1 to Liverpool. Mohamed Salah masterclass. Make sure to check us both out on Twitter. Be sure to like the video and subscribe with notifications on, because you do not want to be missing out on some huge content we have coming up soon. Hope you all enjoyed. That's been LFC Transfer Room, and I'm signing out. Peace.